Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Kayla and I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag. This is a brand new channel, so I feel like that's a good video to film pretty early so people can get an idea of what I'm doing. And it's also just fun and easy, love a tag, kind of classic YouTube. The first question is, why did you start this channel? Obviously, one of the first answers is just to talk about books more. I love books. I love talking about books. I don't want to annoy every person in my life talking about every new book I read. I also am really interested in just finding new books and a community and all of that stuff because I was really in a pretty bad reading slump for a while. So like multi-year reading slump. So it's just been nice to see more books, and it encourages me to read and encourages me to keep doing what I love. Number 2 is, what fun and unique things do you think you can bring to Booktube? That's a hard one because obviously there's so many booktubers, which is amazing, but it just makes me feel a little bit like, what do I have? But I am bisexual and I do think it's great to have more LGBT content creators, and I prefer personally getting recommendations for LGBT books from actual members of the community, so I'm hoping that I can extend that. I also think kind of a fun thing I bring to the community is that I haven't read a lot of the big books, like all the things that have been popular on social media for the last couple years. I've missed a lot of them, so I hope that I can kind of be a place for other readers who have missed some of the big books, you know, like the book talk stuff and everything, so that I hope I can be a place where we can all just discover books from the last couple years and fall in love with things 6 months after everyone else did, I guess. Number 3 is, what are you most excited for about the new channel? And obviously what I've already mentioned. I'm also really excited about expanding my reading taste. I kind of have always stuck to like I read kind of YA fiction and then kind of moved into like contemporary fiction. And just in the last couple months watching Booktube, I've found so many books that I would have never picked up if it wasn't for recommendations. Yeah, just in general, expanding my reading taste, reading books I never would have noticed before. Why do you love reading? And that's hard because I don't remember a time in my life where I didn't love reading. So to kind of go back to being a kid and like, what did I love about it? I do love the escapism aspect of the whole thing, like going into these different worlds and escaping from real life. But I almost feel like what it really brings me is a closeness to people and experiences that I never would have had without books. And I've gotten to live 1,000 lives through stories of people who are nothing like me, and it makes the world feel small in a really good way. What book or series got you into reading? Like I said, I've kind of always been into reading, so I mean, Dr. Seuss. When I was a kid, I really loved the Boxcar Children. As a kid, I was really into the Dear America and Royal Diaries books. Those are kind of like, they're written in diary format, kind of fictional girls doing historical things like on the Oregon Trail or on the Titanic. And then the Royal Diaries ones are the fake diaries of actual people, like Cleopatra when she was a 12-year-old girl, or Marie Antoinette, or whoever. Loved those. I was definitely a big fan of some of the kind of popular fantasy series when I was growing up. So that would have been, I loved like Narnia, I loved Tamora Pierce and the Tortall books. I loved Harry Potter. Yeah, just kind of a lot of those kind of things. And then I kind of, after college, I got into like a big reading slump. I think I was just kind of burnt out, and I would read maybe 2 to 3 books in a good year, and last couple of years it's been like 1. So then in April of this past year, I watched Bridgerton and actually read all the Bridgerton books in like a month. So that I feel like I think of as the series that got me back into reading. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Obviously, I think everyone wants to know, like, help. What are your tips and tricks for doing this? And how to get comfortable just talking to a camera, but not feeling like you're giving a school presentation. Yeah, I would really love some tips about that, because I feel incredibly awkward right now and I don't know what to do with my hands. Next question is, what challenges do you think you'll face starting a new booktube channel? And mostly it's that I'm kind of a shy person and I'm not really used to this. Like, I'm a bit older, I'm in my 30s, so I didn't really grow up filming myself. So yeah, I'm just, as you can probably tell, a little awkward in front of the camera. I also have ADHD and I'm in school and have a real life and a relationship and things like that. So the consistency might be an issue. So I'm going to try and like pre-film and pre-edit and hopefully get some kind of consistent schedule going to kind of look out for myself and overcome some of those challenges, and then over time, hopefully get more comfortable. Kind of like I said, I've always been reading. My mom always says, oh, you were like 3 years old and reading, which I'm sure I was just memorizing books. But yeah, it's kind of always been, I'm just a big reading household, so it's always kind of been a thing. Where do you read? I mostly read sitting on my couch, just pretty simple, or like on the floor, leaning up against the couch, surrounded by pillows, wrapped in a blanket, all of that. There's good lighting there. I also listen to a lot of audiobooks, especially while driving or cooking, so that those are probably my big spaces. I don't read in bed. I feel like I read somewhere one time that that's bad for like your sleep hygiene or whatever. So I don't really read in bed. I just kind of read on the couch or in the bath. The last real question is, what kind of books do you like to read? And I read a lot of kind of contemporary fiction, just basic stuff like that. I'm honestly open to reading anything. I used to read a lot of YA fantasy and I kind of got away from that, but I'm a little bit interested in rediscovering that genre or fantasy in general. I've been really into mysteries and thrillers lately, and historical fiction and romance novels. So yeah, I'm kind of open to everything. I'm not a huge fan of science fiction, and I think I'm kind of outgrown the YA world, unless it's something I like, a heavily recommended book or something like that. But yeah, other than that, I'll read almost anything, really. The last question is, what does your book collection look like? And I actually have a really small book collection because me and my girlfriend don't love to have like a ton of stuff. We used to have a big bookshelf and it was just full of books we didn't read, or we read books we didn't read or we read once and weren't going to read again. So we kind of, during the pandemic, kind of did a big clear out, and now we just have this little bookshelf. So that's kind of what it is. I could do a whole book tour, but it would probably just take like 5 minutes to show you everything, because it's really mostly there, and then in a couple little places throughout our apartment. We have a small place and I don't like clutter, but I love books, and it's starting to spill onto a top shelf instead of being contained to the bottom shelves, which is a bit of a problem, but yeah. So that completes the newbie tag. Yeah, I'm looking forward to filming some like TBRs, some wrap-ups, maybe some fun little challenges, looking at some different readathons that are coming up and maybe thinking about participating in those. I tend to read more when it gets cold, so hopefully that will go well. And so like and comment and subscribe and all that good stuff. I'm gonna have to figure out like a cool YouTuber send-off like everyone has. But thank you so much for watching.